A friend of mine told me about a cowboy who went to church in Oklahoma one time. True story. He is an older cowboy and he dressed like a cowboy. He talked like a cowboy. He walked like a cowboy. In fact, for a living, you guessed it, he was a cowboy. He went in one Sunday to this really nice church, beautiful sanctuary, fantastic lobby, everything done just right. The people were all adorned in their Sunday finest. Cars out front were not the typical run-of-the-mill piece of junk that most of us drive. He went in there and realized that nobody was talking to him. Well, he figured, I'm a stranger here. It might take a little bit of time to warm up to me. When the service was completed, and a really nice service, he said, not one person had said hello. On his way out, the pastor met him at the door. He was excited that somebody had noticed, especially a pastor. Pastor went up to him and shook his hand, asked him for his name, and said, "Sir, before you come back to church, I want to ask you to talk to Jesus about what you should wear in a church like this." Well, the elderly gentleman was offended, but kind, and assured the pastor that he would do just that. Next week, the cowboy shows up again. Same beautiful hat, same cowboy clothes, same cowboy boots. The minister met him at the door and said, "Sir, I thought I asked you to talk to Jesus about what you should wear to this church." The cowboy took his hat off before coming into the building, looked the pastor in the eye, and said, "Sir, I did just that." The pastor said, "What did Jesus say?" Cowboy looked at the pastor and said, "Jesus told me he didn't know what I should wear. He'd never been inside this church." So many times we turn our relationship with Jesus into little more than a fashion show. Spend our time trying to impress everybody else around us with how spiritual we are instead of just loving Jesus and loving people around us. A truest example of love was given to us in the words of Jesus Christ himself in John chapter 3, verse 16. That's where Jesus said, "The Father loved the world in this way, that he gave his one and only begotten Son to die for sinners, so that whoever would believe in him wouldn't have to perish, but could have everlasting life." If you're still more concerned about what you're wearing than where you're going for eternity, you might want to check out Jesus. If you're more concerned about what everybody else thinks about you than what you can do for them, you might want to rethink your relationship with the world. I'm Stephen Zemanek, and I'll see you next time.